Welcome to Sister Talk TV show. I'm your host, Deetra Kelsey. Yes, we have some hot topics. I mean, they're hotter than July, and it is July in New York City, and we are in the middle of a heat wave. So these topics are certainly hot. We'll be talking about the Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade, the January 6th committee investigating the January 6th fiasco event, the bum rush the Capitol. I don't know. We'll be talking about also the mass shootings in the USA. What's up with that? I mean, come on now. Brittany Griner, she's still locked up in Russia. Will she be getting out soon? Also, R. Kelly, my sisters, yes, my sisters. You all think that sentencing was a little bit too much, over 20 years. I want to know why. Also, we'll be talking about Monique. She gets the Netflix comedy special. Oh, wow. It's been a roller coaster ride with her. We have breaking news. President Joe Biden has gotten COVID. Fully vaccinated. With me to discuss all of this is Star Davis. Star Davis, she's the actress, owner of UCAN Media. Star, how you doing?
Good. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, next we have Rhonda Handsome, returning Sister Talk friend, actor, director, and comedian. Rhonda's in the house.
Delighted to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
You know, I can't wait to get your view on that Monique getting the Netflix contract. Maury Moss. How you doing, Maury?
Hey.
She's a community activist and I have to say, and a fabulous singer. Maury, how you doing? And thank you for coming back to Sister Talk TV show.
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Our next topic is these mass shootings. We have the Highland, Chicago, well-to-do area. We had Uvalde, Texas. No words that I can express or say with that tragedy. And also another all of them are tragedies, matter of fact. But also Buffalo, New York, upstate New York. You know, do you all think that a mandate on guns or banning guns or whatever they want to do with guns will stop the mass shootings? I'm trying to wonder because I think they had one gunman, he made something himself. You know, I'm thinking about the killing in Japan. Sorry, I just went. But yeah, do you think that will stop the mass shootings?
No.
Regulating guns?
No, because we're at war. We are at war. We are in bio warfare, but we are also in a civil war. And part of it is the mass shootings. I mean, Deetra, there are people all over this country who have entire rooms devoted to arms. I mean, and there are some who are bold enough to write racial and ethnic slurs on their weapons when they go out to commit their well-documented crimes. These are people whose parents have bought them the guns, who have told their compadres on Twitch and on other kinds of social media platforms exactly what they're going to do. We are at war, and even if they so-called do some kind of soft approach to controlling guns, I don't think it's going to change for the people who have already been arming themselves for decades.
Okay, this is a general question. Who are we at war with? I want to clarify that. Is the white extremists at war with people of color?
I don't use that term, people of color.
But you will.
What I think
I don't like that term either. But I'm generalizing. Hispanics, Latinx,
so I think
Black people.
They're using Hispanics to help buffer and erase the demands of foundational Black Americans. We are in ideological warfare right now. I mean, Biden already said to the people from NAACP and Urban League that we're going to have to work with Latinos. It's an ideological war that's being waged against us, in addition to a biological warfare. Ideological and biological. I mean, it is constant.
All right, Maury, what do you think? Do you think that regulating guns will stop these mass shootings?
Something needs to stop it because it's out of control. And I mean, every time we go through another mass shooting, we're saying the same thing. It's like, we need more gun laws. We need more restraints here. We need more restraints there. It has to do with individuals who are picking up these guns and just deciding to do some of the most atrocious things. And somehow we have got to be proactive and preventative about this. I'm not sure if it has to do with anything about gun laws per se, or even gun buybacks. But we've got to figure it out, and we've got to figure it out fast. What happened in Uvalde, what happened at Sandy Hook, what's happening, what has happened with anything with the schools specifically. I mean, because, everyone who sends their children to school, they don't expect their children to have to, to lose their lives like that. But even that footage was disturbing to see how it was being used.
You're absolutely right. It was disturbing. In Uvalde, they said there were almost 400 law enforcement people standing around there that day. Do you know how many donuts that is, Deetra?
I mean, it's not funny, but the sad thing is,
that was funny, Star. Don't say that's not funny. That was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. Okay. The sad thing is, kids died. Talk about law enforcement, right? So a lot of these right wingers, Blue Lives Matter, law enforcement, the whole thing. Well, here we had proof right there on video, viral for everybody to see, that law enforcement is not really all that.
It's right. What you're saying is true, Star. They had just done an active shooter training 2 weeks before in Uvalde. So don't tell me nothing about training, police reform. Those people had just done a run through 2 weeks before. Did they tell them to stand around during the run through?
Right. That was a part of their training, telling them to stand around. Yeah. My whole problem is that, and you could say I'm simplifying it, I'm oversimplifying it. I'm sorry, I live in a very noisy neighborhood. Pardon the guys outside the window playing basketball. I really believe most of the policies in this country come down to two things: race and money. And if you are anti-racism, they will vilify you until cows jump over the moon. If you try to mess with those who are in power and mess with their money, again, they will vilify you and until the cow jumps over the moon. Okay, so this whole thing about don't take away my gun rights, don't take away my gun rights. And I just want to say, I'm going to segue a tiny bit before I'm sticking to the point. This whole thing about believing in life and the sanctity of life and all that, somehow that seems to fall by the wayside when it comes to guns, right? Mm-hmm. And I actually agree with some Republican ideas. I think it would be great if everybody were happily married. I think it would be great if kids grew up in a 2-parent home and, they were spiritual and they, just had all this good stuff happening with them. I think that would be great. But what I cannot take from the Republican Party and why I totally don't respect them is that they are the party of hypocrites. everything that they talk about, the hypocrisy is just, that's what I can't take. Everything that they talk about, everything that they preach, everything that they swear they live by, their mouths say one thing and their actions
do something
say
else.
a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And that is why, even though some of the ideals of the Republican Party I actually agree with, but I can't respect them and I can't follow them because of the hypocrisy.
You know what? You know what's so crazy about this whole
amassing these guns for decades. They have been preparing for this for decades, and they're going to carry it out.
Yeah, you know what's so weird about this whole thing is that the Black community has been experiencing mass shootings for a while. We have been experiencing people coming into the school system, shooting up places. That's why they had the security at the door, check your bags and all that. Now that it's spilled into some other people's neighborhood, it is a problem. There's a problem with the drugs. We dealt with that when it became an epidemic in their neighborhood. It's a problem.
No, when it goes to white folks, it's a disease. But when they are funneling the drugs into our communities, it's a crime. We got to be incarcerated. And all of these people, some of these people are even getting reparations because they on meth and Oxycontin and stuff.
Yeah. So that's kind of weird. That's kind of crazy for me when I look at that. So you all don't think that regulating the guns will stop these mass shootings? Because
no, I do. I am absolutely for gun reform, and I think the harder you make it for somebody to get access to it, that would absolutely stop. First of all, I don't understand. There's nothing anybody could say that would convince me that an 18-year-old or even a 21-year-old, or how about any person, period, outside of a war should have an AR-15. Why an individual needs to buy a gun of that caliber.
But from Columbine to today, I mean, we've always been scratching our heads on how are these teenagers getting these war weapons. I mean, these are.
We know how they're getting them. Their parents are enabling them.
Yes, and they're supposed to be locked away. But look, we can spend a lot of time on this, and it's really deep. It's part of the American system. Hey, we gotta close the show out. Like I said again, thank you all for watching Sister Talk TV show, and thank you all for coming to Sister Talk TV show to talk about hot topics. I am Dietrich Kelsey, and as always, I am wishing you peace, love, and remember to stay in the light.
Sister Talk, something on your mind anytime. I'm here to listen. Sister Talk, when you need someone who understands, I know what you're missing. Sister Talk, no matter what you're going through, don't worry, I ain't going nowhere. Sister Talk, if you ever feel alone, say the word, I'll be right there. Sister Talk, sister, talk, sister, talk, sister, talk, sister, ooh, sister talk.